Because we all know each other. I appreciate you guys volunteering for this program. It's a volunteer program, and congratulations to you guys for being chosen from those that volunteered. So we're happy about that. This is something brand spanking new for us up here. Linda's going to do a little talk about it first. And anyway, it's been a successful program in Florida and in California with citrus. So this is something new here. So I'm going to let Linda talk for a little bit. We're going to be doing a lot of talking tonight, not very much introduction of doing with odor. But we have it, and we have plenty of it. So anyway, Linda.
Thank you so much for being willing participants. It's you that have trained your dogs to advanced work, are experts in the training part of it, and breeding your dogs, and I think you'll really help us make this successful. The project started when it was called to our attention that the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, was funding to the tune of $4.6 million a study on using dogs trained at the National Dog Detection Dog Center in Georgia to identify citrus greening in Florida and California. And from there, we had a group in Washington State that were testing whether trained dogs, yes, that's right, Angel, whether trained dogs could detect cherry disease. There's two diseases. One is called little cherry disease, and the other is Western X. One is bacterial based, the other is viral based. And they have been studying this for 2 years. This will be the third year on it, and they are still uncertain. Well, I looked at that project and thought, we're already in the AQC program. We're looking at birch, anise, cloves, and cypress. These are all plant materials, base, scents. I wonder if we can do it. And Jen and Mike said, yes, we'll give it a try. So that was what was behind it. We went to the Tree Fruit Research Center here it's a WSU-sponsored Tree Fruit Research Center in Wenatchee. And the USDA is right across the parking lot from them. And they have a Washington State Research Committee that is based on cherry diseases and different horticultural aspects of that. And all three entities got on board to support our program. And then the Schland Douglas Farm Bureau said, we'll donate some money to launch your project. So we have a lot of people that are really interested, sincerely hoping that we can succeed in training our dogs to identify a particular scent that is involved with little cherry disease or with Western X disease. And these two diseases, in one combination or another, have reached pandemic proportions in the southern part of our state and Oregon, like along the Columbia Gorge. And when the disease hits a cherry orchard, it'll be sporadic. So they think it's vectored by insects or some element that is getting into the tree, and then it goes down the sap and comes back up the next year, and eventually the cherries that are produced are very small, hence the word little cherry disease, and the flavor is not good, so they're non-marketable. Well, if you've raised a tree up to the production age and have to remove it and wait 2 years to replant and get that tree up to production, it's about $160,000 loss per tree.
Oh my God.
And they figure that if you have 20% of tree loss or infection within the orchard, you have to remove the whole block. So being able to discern that there's a problem earlier rather than later would be a great boon. So that's what's behind wanting to see if our dogs, which are trained through AKC techniques for identification, would be able to transfer those skills to an orchard setting. The plant material that is provided to us comes from either Prosser or Mattawa, and it has been sterile in its handling. The people who have cut the plant material, both the healthy plant material and infected, wore gloves, and it's been handled with the minimal of human contact. So everything has been maintained and brought here to Wenatchee and then delivered to the Barclays house, and they too have kept everything under cover. And the actual infected material is inert. They cannot contaminate you or your dog.
Jan's got a bunch of stuff to talk to you about.
Now we actually start class time, and we will focus more on how we're going to do what we're going to do. First of all, the samples we have tonight is just little cherry disease. We're going to start with one. We're going to try and get the dogs to recognize that odor and be able to sort it out. And that may take 2 or more lessons to do that before we introduce the second one. Also, we're going to be doing we got a lot of ideas from Hallie's seminar on how to do that. Because this is a program that hasn't been done before, but has the potential of just really being shared and skyrocketing, we want to document what we do very carefully. We want to be specific on what happens. Mike, could you? So we have for you, each of you will have a journal. We want you to journal each lesson how your dog reacts. Mike and I will have a journal on what we presented during that lesson. And then you will document how many tries it took your dog to choose the right odor, or whatever the lesson for the night. You'll make notes on how your dog reacted, how quickly they took to it, if they didn't at all. Because Mike and I can't keep track of all that. But that's the idea of having a number of dogs here, is to see what happens with each dog. So I really recommend, the class isn't costing anything, so here's your part, your input, is to be able to keep a detailed journal for each lesson. So what I have is, tonight we're just working with little cherry disease. I have a sample here. The lid has holes in it, and I have a jar with no holes. This was just now traded so that this has been sealed up until just this moment to let it out. What we're going to start with is just the one with the sample. Each of you in turn, bring your dog out. The dog will watch me or Mike, because we're going to split it up. Set the jar down, and then you want the dog to go and you want the dog to go to the odor. As soon as their nose touches it, you give your keyword, like yes, or whatever is your clicker word. I call it your clicker word. If you were doing clicker, it would click. But otherwise, give your word, and then treat the dog at the odor. The point here is we want that word first and immediately when the dog's nose comes even close to it. So for this class, we want you to choose a different search word than you use in scent work or any other sport. Now, an example. Mike and I use find it for tracking. We use search for nose work. You want something different for this class. It'll help your dog know this is something different. I would like to see us agree on a word so we're all using the same word in this class. Is tree too different?
Cherry.
Cherry. That's what I was thinking.
Cherry.
Cherry. Everybody like that one?
Yeah, cherry.
It has no
Looking for a new search word.
Yes.
Yes.
But when they
go nose to source, can you use the same marker word?
I think the marker word should be the same.
Okay,
It
so
should be
yes.
what your dog is used to hearing
Okay.
as a
No,
marker
no, no,
word.
no, no, please clarify that. So you should, when the dog finds it, I will repeat cherry, or I will say yes. Okay.
Up to you.
Cherry,
No, she,
cherry will be your send out word.
Your search.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go cherry.
okay, fine, I just heard you say.
When your nose gets here, use the marker word your dog is used to.
Okay.
For most of us, that's yes.
Okay.
And so we're gonna start off, the dog going to it, and the dog goes right to it. The next step, the same dog, is we'll put it down there, the dog will go right to it. You will treat one treat, and we'll go over this each step. You treat one treat, take a step back. As soon as your nose goes to it, one treat, 2 steps back. As soon as your nose goes to it, one treat, maybe a different direction. Again, we're training the nose to go to it, and the dog is learning whatever they're smelling there, we want the nose there. Cherry. Oh, yeah. Get the marker word. Get the marker word. Yes. Good. Yes. Good girl. One more time. Yes. Good girl. There we go. Good job. Thank you. Nice girl. And that's what we want. Yes. Give it plenty of leads. Yes. Good. That'll much better.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice.
Do it one
Really
more
quick.
time. Just stay there. Go.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, I know you want to do it too, but we're not.
Oh, what a girl.
Mr. Darby? Mr. Darby?
Would it be better one at a time, do you think?
Let him get his nose on it. He's a good girl. You may have to wait. Oh. There, yes.
And then you'll probably need a little
There.
bit longer leash.
Hey, you.
Otter hasn't gone yet. Okay, we're ready. Yes. Yes.
Good job. All right.
Yes.
Spring, do the spring cubby.
So this is the blank?
Oh, this is real stuff.
Oh, it is, okay.
Cherry. Yes. Yes.
Mark it.
One more time. Yes. Redo the cherry.
Anytime, yeah. As soon as he gets there. Go ahead. Yeah, he's right. He's not leaving. Good job.
There we go. That's the way. Okay. Yes.
Good job.
Good boy.
Good job. Angel.
So make sure your leash is loose and long, ready for her to go after it. Yeah.
You did a good job.
This is a moving scarecrow.
Want to give her a treat with treat it on the
Yes. That's okay.
Yes. Treat on the jar.
Yeah. Now back way in a different
Yes.
direction. Like towards me or something. Yeah, different direction. Leave it loosely so she because she does not have to leave it.
Yes.
You want her to be there away from you, distance.
Okay. 1, 2.
Yes. Very good. That would- Oh, yeah. Yes. She thinks it's hers. She thinks it's hers now.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
And this is kind of fun because we have no idea what they're smelling right now.
Yeah. So have you actually tried smelling it? I mean, I can smell anise and I can smell,
It smells like a tree.
you don't smell anything at all?
Well, see, this has been refrigerated, so we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And they wanted us to keep it refrigerated.
What's the reason for refrigerating it?
Longevity,
Longevity
freshness.
and we can use it until it gets mold on it.
So that would have a tendency, the scent would stay down at the bottom rather than come up to the top.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we
We've
don't know
had
what's
these
in
out
it.
in
we know
the
that.
refrigerator since about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, Cubby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there should be some odor coming out right now.
Cherry. Yes.
Okay, now throw the jar. Say cherry.
Cherry.
That can go in a different direction this time, different direction. Yes.
Good job. Are you supposed to refill her?
That was fine. And
Cherry.
when she's that far away, yes.
Yes, good girl.
Good, she went to it. That's good. That's
Very
good.
good.
That's exactly what we're wanting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to see a moving now.
Good boy, Bobby.
So right now, how much do you think this is them responding to just the container?
I'm thinking right now, today, they're just responding to the container.
Right. And it'll
Myself.
take time for them to realize there's a smell associated.
Correct. When we introduce a second jar with nothing there, and then
Right.
and then we're gonna go, and then we'll say, they'll go to the source, and the other one's nothing there, so we're hoping that they'll
Right.
differentiate between the two.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll just have that being very good.
Don't
Very good.
you think that a blank jar at this stage would also be all good?
That's the next step.
We're wanting them to say this has got a smell, but a blank jar, we're wanting them to come back to the jar.
Right,
that
she's
they-
just saying that maybe these dogs are more advanced than that.
Could
But
be.
I appreciate starting with baby steps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby steps is good, but I would also like to see if we could at this stage even do two.
Well, that's where I'm headed right now.
We're gonna get there today.
That's where I'm headed.
Yeah.
You know when to treat.
Yes, good girl.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, good job. The difference.
Yeah.
Good girl. Yes. Yes, good girl.
Very good. And I'm not gonna touch them again. I'm just gonna leave them on their sides. And that's a good come in this direction so they get the empty one first.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
So these dogs are telling us there's something there they're smelling.
Yeah.
Smelling
There is something there.
She is mine.
Yeah. Good girl.
They also
You
smell.
want me to step away to do it, or just
That's good. That's good.
Good.
My dog can't get past it.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah.
nose on it.
Good job. Good job.
Well, we know from that they can smell it.
Yeah, just from that alone, we found out that they're
dogs.
smelling something.
Yeah. They can tell a blanket is
Yes.
something that smells.
And I don't want to untrain a sit or a down.
Okay,
I want the nose first.
Yes.
But
okay.
don't untrain a sit or a down because down
Go
the
ahead,
road,
Cubby, go ahead.
that's what we're gonna want.
Give it the word.
So, like I say, don't untrain it, but make sure the nose goes first.
Karen.
But of course, right now, there's
Look at that.
both the tree and the disease. So at some point, we're gonna have.
That knows the source training.
Yes.
I tell you, Marcia.
Yeah, just like when we show them in this tube around the thing, and then we put it in the tube.
Yeah, yeah. That's,
He knows what I want.
just find that last time all the dogs put their nose on it, as opposed to them cleaning it. Easy to find.
Come back here. She's just playing. He's just playing. He's just playing.
Yeah, it's not the blank. I just want to make sure that they're not smelling.
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
last
Oh,
time
yeah. Every
the
time
dogs-
we dip in,
all the
it
dogs
has to be
touch things.
And Betsy, you know which one it is? Yeah.
What's nice about it is you can actually see it in the jar.
That's
so.
true.
Oh, good job.
Yes.
Wow. They're smelling something. Now, and you gotta remember this progresses on going out for clean wood, diseased wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the progression. Maybe next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes, what a boy.
Wow. Right now, do we know they're smelling Mark, or do we think they're smelling other dogs that are on that dog?
But that is the seal.
There's only something in time. Because the first one before you did the dog touched it.
Yeah.
Cherry. Yes.
Look at this thing. Good boy. That was a good boy. I like it so far that all the dogs are staying on the one that has wood in it. This is encouraging.
Yes.
Yes. I like it being quick right now. We'll look for endurance as you go along. But right now, if you're hitting it, it's good. Say it quickly. But we'll look for endurance in a couple weeks. Okay, so then we'll progress to it. Right?
And these dogs should have a really loose lead because they know what to do.
Yeah. Good girl.
Wow.
Just forget even smelling that other one.
So she knows what odor she's looking for.
I'd take her out and
Cherry.
Let's see a different skill.
yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. We got lots of lead.
Good job.
I like the onions again for the nose again. Very good.
Cherry.
Aspen says that cool and unusual.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Well done.
That's a sight out for you.
Angel sat and watched everybody else.
So,
Come on, you gotta put that
Yeah.
second one now up to third and let Angel go first.
And you know which one it is.
Sherry. Because Angel watches.
Yes.
You do it.
Cherry. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. They're selling something.
That's not it. Somebody dropped.
Somebody dropped the treat.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Chicken livers in there, but not yeah. I want you
Yes. Yes. Put it in it.
Cherry.
Yeah, good. Yes. Yes.